Have mercy on my soul. Oh, Father, I just pray for forgiveness. Please relieve me from my woes. Oh, please help me, you're my only witness. Have mercy on my soul. Oh, Father, I just pray for forgiveness. Please relieve me from my woes. Oh, please help me, you're my only witness. Keep dreaming on. It's not what it seems. Keep dreaming on. Don't just believe. Have mercy on my soul. Oh.
Aha! See, I made sure to remind myself not to be on mute for my first 5 to 10 minutes, man. But what up, everybody, man? You know who it is. It's your boy, the Kung Fu Hebrew Saul G, coming at it again. Got a good lesson for you, man. One of the first lessons we're gonna be talking about on the channel. Today we're not gonna be talking about snakes versus crocodiles and stuff like that. We're gonna get a little bit more information tomorrow, but like we got to talk about the application of this book that we have decided to believe in, right? So a lot of times, man, people sit up here and they'll talk about this book or no application of how it can be used in 2023, right? You know, the stories in the Bible, if you believe the narrative, are about 4,000 years old, right? 5,000 years old, right? So real quick to see who checking in. Shout out to King Mike, says this looks like it can be very interesting. Hopefully it will be. I hope y'all enjoy it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I got some good stuff coming up. I'm gonna let y'all know about that in a second. Also, man, businesses out there, not no corporations, like when I say corporations, y'all know what I mean. Like somebody you could recognize by name. But if you have somebody you want to advertise, I am starting to branch out. I have a debate coming up. I can't say that yet. I got to confirm that, but I do have an author coming on next Tuesday. He's going to be talking about a book he wrote that I believe is relevant to a lot of conversations that we've been having. So if you want to get your business out there, you can contact me. Let me go ahead and put that in over here on the ticker. So email me at kungfuhebrew.com. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get your business on there, depending on what type of business you have, I can advertise it. You know, I ain't advertising nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting your OnlyFans up here or something, you know what I'm saying? Crazy. But if you have a business, you know what I'm saying? I can help you. You know, if you saw the little intro, I think I do a pretty decent job with my visuals. So, like I said, if you want me to help you out with your business, you want to advertise your business on the show, there's no charge. There's never going to be a charge. I don't care. Like, shout out to everybody who helped me get to 200 subscribers since the last show, man. I appreciate y'all for sharing the show. So we met that benchmark. But as the show continues to grow, as the channel continues to grow, and as I go out and, you know, I have to start debating people or doing whatever I need to do to make it grow, I'm never going to charge regular folks to advertise on my show because that's not what it's supposed to be about. If you are talking about moving righteously, if you're talking about blessing people, helping people, money I can get somewhere else. You understand what I'm saying? I already told you. I don't put my cash app and stuff on here. I probably might do it in case some random person decide he want to bless me, but I don't be sitting here asking for money or doing stuff like that, even though I'm not gonna make it seem like I don't want it or don't need it. But I've already told you the purpose is to get money from YouTube. I don't necessarily want the people's money. So just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there. So I'll let y'all know everything else that's going on, man. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you share the show. I want to go ahead and get into it tonight. I just want to make sure I ain't forget nothing before I start. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I said, the first person I'm happy to announce will be my cousin's restaurant. So hopefully by next week's show, I'll be able to advertise my cousin's restaurant. So I'm gonna have a nice little commercial made for him, and I'm gonna put his information out. So if you want to go support black-owned business or just business, period, man. If you want some good food, my cousin has a restaurant. I'm gonna be bringing that to y'all. He's been in business now for I'm not quite sure how long he's been in business, but I know he's at least been in business. Sister, if you out there, can you tell me how long you've been in business? But we'll talk about that later. But I want to go ahead and get into this lesson tonight because I think it's very relevant, and I think we should sometimes look at the Bible Like everybody wants to get into the specifics of the Bible. But my point is, if you can't apply the Bible to 2023, then what's the point, right? What's the point? We can talk being righteous all day. We can talk about, is this a law? Is this a sin? Is this? But at the end of the day, if you cannot apply it and you cannot use the lessons, right? It's like for example, if you're watching Star Wars, right? I didn't like the new ones, right? But if you're watching a movie or something like that, you try to get the the point, or if they try to make some message. Yeah, my sister said, I'm thinking it's been at least a year now. So yeah, cousin's been in business for a minute, got some good food down there. So y'all need to go check him out. I'll have that hopefully by next year. He said he's gonna get back in touch with me. So we're gonna have that coming. But let me go ahead and get into the lesson tonight, man. 5 prototypes of women in the Bible. Now, I just want everybody to know this is something I made up, right? When I say made up, I'm going to use things in the Bible to basically give you an example of different women. Some women you should be able to identify. Next week, I'm going to pick 5 men out of the Bible. Most men, or I should probably pick kind of 5 prototypes of men that I believe, even though I know there are more than 5, right? But I remember that book came out. I think it was 5 love languages. So I was like, yeah, they use 5, so 5 is a good number, right? So let's get into it, man. 5 prototypes of women in the Bible. Which one are you, and which one do you attract for the fellas? All right, here we go. First of all, I want to expound on the lives of 5 biblical women. 2, I want to explain characteristics of each. And 3rd, I want to view them. Dang, come on, sorry, you got to proofread. View them in a modern context, okay? So, bottom line, as we always do on this channel, man, you got to come in with an open mind. This is not a conversation of absolutes, just like the book of love languages. Everybody will not fit into a perfect box. So you might be a little of this person. You might be a majority of this person. You might be able to relate to some things. You might disagree with me. That's perfectly fine. We can disagree here. We just got to disagree with each other in love. You understand what I'm saying? So when I'm trying to set these up, then next week when I do the men, you can say, oh yeah, I see that man, I see him, or whatever. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Real quick, opening scripture. All right, this is going to be coming from Ecclesiastes 12, 13, and 14. If you took the quiz, right, you should know that was the answer to one of those questions. I know I never told you that, but if you watch me enough, you should kind of know I show a little bit favoritism towards the Old Testament, so that was the only Old Testament book up there. But let's go ahead and read Ecclesiastes 12, 13, and 14. And this is kind of sort of like, I feel like this is the point of life. This is the point, like, we can argue about which tribe is this, or who's the Jews, or who's black people, or who's white. We can have those discussions, man. I'm not really big on that. I'm more on the application. I'm more on, if you saw the new intro, shout out to BeatStars. If y'all need some beats, man, the beatstars.com got some bangers over there. So if y'all like that new beat, man, y'all need to throw one in the chat or something like that. Let me know y'all was feeling that. But yeah, beatstars.com. I'm gonna get them a little free promo, even though I had to pay for it. Ain't no big deal. But yeah, they got some specials going on towards the new year, so you might be able to get you a couple of beats for like $20. But anyway, enough trying to advertise other people who ain't, you know what I mean? But hey, they make good music, so they don't got to pay me to advertise them anyway. But let's get into it. Ecclesiastes 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Simple. At the end of the day, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Fear God, keep the commandments, for it says it's the whole duty of man. Because guess what? I can sit here and talk about the law, or I can go into the New Testament and tell you what a sin is, but at the end of the day, God knows what it is. So, a lot of people like to say, oh, that, that's why we were redeemed from the law, because you couldn't follow it. But at the end of the day, we believe in the Most High, right? You believe in God, right? So he already know. So regardless of whether or not I get caught, I don't get away with it. You understand what I'm saying? I can go on that little website and watch something I ain't supposed to, right? Now, just because ain't nobody around to watch me do what I do, right? Don't mean that he don't know. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what it's about. Every secret thing, uh, you know, he gonna know. All right. So let's get into these women. All right. The first one is gonna be Eve, man. On the left, I got good qualities or positive qualities. On the right, I got some negative qualities, man. So Eve, man, she was beautiful, she was curious, she was feminine, she was spontaneous, she was also submissive. Okay. Some negative things about Eve: she had zero accountability. Okay, she was never satisfied. She was easily persuaded. She listened to others, and she was obstinate. Okay, so just real quickly about Eve, the reason why I would say like some of the good characteristics, feminine is good because if we say that she's the first woman, she had to be feminine. You understand what I'm saying? The other things, right? I believe also, if she's the original woman, then she had to be like the epitome of like, womankind. That's what she had to be, right? But on the other side of Eve, she had no accountability. That's not good because you know neither did Adam. But we're gonna get to the men next week. We talking about the women today. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm talking about the women in a respectful manner. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go full Tevin Samuels on y'all today. So we not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to just get these certain characteristics of women, but this is like the prototype for Eve. So some women, you might know somebody who kind of fits into this category. Okay, a good match for an Eve. You got to be romantic. You got to be an effective communicator. Whew. How did I get that spell wrong? But that's all good. Yeah, you got to be rigid in structure because the one thing about what I always say, what I call that spirit of Eve is God said you basically can have everything you want except for this one thing. But you know what happened? Well, why can't I have that one thing over there? So, fellas, if you've ever been with a woman, right? And it seems like you do everything right for the most part, right? But she just always kind of looking for something, right? Like, you go, you work all day, you come home, you chilling, you at the house, and it's just like she gotta go find something, then you might have an Eve, okay? So you got to make sure it's got to be a little rigid instruction for that. Ladies, if you are an Eve, then you should probably already know what I'm talking about. All right, a bad match for an Eve is a free spirit. Okay, you don't want two free spirits to be together because there will be no structure. Somebody who is spontaneous. No, Eve needs structure. That's why she looking for something, right? She was looking for something that she was told that she couldn't have, and unemployed. Yeah, if you ain't got no job and she's just doing the most, then that ain't definitely gonna be a good match. Okay, so let's keep going. So let's see who Eve is in modern times. So Eve today would be your free spirit, open-minded, easily bored, hard to please. She probably got heavy social media presence, and I call it do first, ask later. Not saying that a woman needs to ask permission. What I'm saying is she gonna do what she want to do first, and then she might come back and tell you about it later. Basically saying like, "Hey, guess what I did today?" And not necessarily like she didn't ask for your input. She just went off and did it. Hey, I bought this. I did this. So some of y'all have an Eve. I'm not. I will say no comment on any of these characteristics aligning with either one of the women that I deal with. So I'm just going, kind of keep it like that. So let's keep going. Let's see who we got next. Next, we got Deborah, and you can read about Deborah in Judges 4-5. One reason why I kind of like the Old Testament a little bit is because of the position of women. I feel in the Old Testament. I mean, they actually get name by name in the New Testament outside of who Mary, and Elizabeth. It might be a couple of other women you can find. You just woman or women or don't, But like this, she was actually the leader of Israel at a point. You understand what I'm saying? So like that's another reason why I kind of am a little bit more centered because we know these women by name, by deeds, by things that they actually did. You know what I mean? So you can read about Deborah. She judged Israel. I got her as a little warrior right here. You know what I mean? Let's talk about Deborah. Deborah was strong, obviously. She was courageous. She was independent. She was a leader, and she was intelligent. All right. Some not necessarily negative, but just what it is. Not submissive, right? Definitely didn't subscribe to gender roles because if you go through the rest of Israel, she was the first and last that we know of that was in a position of like leadership, real leadership, opinionated, right? What some people could say is good or bad. She was not easily persuaded. If she's judging Israel, she has to have a straightforward opinion. And I put career focus, because she was ruling. So she was focused on governing. She was focused on what was going on in Israel. So let's see what else we got. A good match for Deborah, right? If you are a Deborah, you need a man who is not excuse me, financially competent. What's the other word they like to use? Are you financially stable? No, 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 no. If you're dealing with a Deborah, you better be financially superior. You understand what I'm saying? If she is on that $100,000 level, you better be making twice as much or better. You understand? Because a Deborah understands that, hey, look, I could rule if I need to. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't just be financially stable or I pay all my bills. No, if you're dealing with a Deborah and you wanted to probably work out, you better make sure you're financially superior. Also, you need to be educated. Because once again, Deborah was a leader, so you would assume she knew how to deal with multiple things. Now we're applying some new modern things to it, but you got to assume that she was judging, she wasn't a dummy. And she was a egalitarian, right? And I had to Google that word because I was trying to find a good word for it, right? But basically meaning you're probably not going to dominate. You're probably going to have to do not the 50-50 thing, but you're not going to be able to dominate a Deborah. You got to be willing to say, this is my opinion, listen to her opinion, and then y'all come together as a consensus and y'all make decisions like that. So that is a good match with a Deborah. Okay. Now, bad match with a Deborah, not driven, right? Not financially stable, uh a guy with what I call an alpha personality, right? He believes he should be running things, right? He believes that, he is the top dog. He is, I ain't gonna say big piece of chicken because I think that's a little different, but you know what I mean. Y'all have seen these people, especially on YouTube, who call themselves alpha males and things like that. So it is that watch National Geographic when they talk about the alpha or the leader of the pack. You're not going to be able to probably sway a Deborah like that. Okay. Also, a bad match would be somebody who is uneducated because she's probably going to look at you as being inferior. Because once again, Deborah, I might be wrong, but from what I know, Deborah was the only woman who led Israel, like as the leader. Because if you go back to the story of Deborah, Barak was like, "Yo, I ain't going to war unless you come with me." And she was like, "All right, I'll go." You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand where Deborah fits. So, who is Deborah in 2023? Deborah is the career woman, right? She's educated, she's independent, she's an innovator, she is a planner. So, this is your Deborah today. So, a lot of black men complain about the Deborahs, right? Because just ain't a good fit. You not necessarily at her level, and she's might be you think she's looking down on you, but she gotta understand if she has the ability and she understood that she was in a position to rule, then that's what it is. This is a Deborah. So Deborah is your career woman. She's educated, independent, innovator, and a planner. Let's keep going. Leah. All right. I think Leah kind of gets kind of put to the backside a little bit. Not to the, to the back burner, my bad, not the backside. Hey, come on. Uh let's tighten up here. Let's see. So Leah was loyal, right? She was family oriented, she was submissive, she was passive, and she was also a homemaker. Okay. One thing about Leah that I feel, she was not confident. She feels inadequate. She was a people pleaser. She was somewhat naive, and she was also unassertive. See, the one thing, and I'm gonna get into that in a second, but the one thing you have to understand about Leah's character, and a lot of women can um relate to Leah because imagine, right? Um, the story of Jacob. If you really think about the story with Jacob, Leah, and Rachel, it's actually kind of tragic if you think about like how Leah was basically just pushed in the middle. Like Jacob is working for 7 years, right? To marry your sister. And then your father's like, nah, you head into the tent and you understand what I'm saying? And I gotta marry him. You know what I'm saying? Like she got put in a position that I don't necessarily know if she even asked for, but you have to think about your husband is in love with your sister. You understand what I'm saying? Like, just sit back and think about probably, I mean, how she felt. And even like, just think about what happened. They in the marriage tent or whatnot, they do their thing, and he wake up in the morning like, yo, I've been tricked, I've been bamboozled, I've been hoodwinked. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you, as a woman, you just gave your body to this man, and you might have understood that it wasn't supposed to be you, but still, I still think that that holds some weight. So you got to think about what Leah was experiencing probably her whole entire life, a feeling of being inadequate, right? Because the whole time she knew Jacob loved her sister. And I'm not going to say Jacob didn't love Leah, but I'm pretty sure it was different because he came there for Rachel, not Leah, but Leah was kind of a part of the deal and things like that. So let's keep going. So a good match for Leah is just somebody loyal, hardworking, respectful, and somebody that can be affirming, basically, who will let let her know that she's enough. Let them know that you got to be able to affirm that, like, hey, there isn't nobody else, it's just you. You're the only one I care about. You got to be able to affirm Aaliyah, because I don't necessarily know if Jacob was giving her that, because you got to think about it. Rachel only gave him 2 kids, right? And if I'm not mistaken, Leah gave him 7, because she gave him his only girl, Dinah, and then she gave him Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah. That's 4. And then Dinah. And I want to say she might have gave him 2 more. I'm not all the way sure which the other 2, but I think she gave him either 7 or 6 kids. So y'all can go back, because I know Leah gave him, I'm sorry, Rachel gave him 2 more. So that'd be 9. And then the 2 handmaids, I think, gave him 2 apiece. So 2, 2. Yeah, I think she gave him 6, and then each one of them gave him 2. Okay. A bad match. Bad match for Aaliyah is somebody who is unemployed, someone who is not stable, someone who is secretive, someone who is shallow, someone who is disrespectful, someone who is physically superior. What I mean by when I say physically superior, I mean like from a physical standpoint. I think sometimes women know the same way men know when they say you outkicked your coverage, or you're dating someone who is extremely more physically attractive than you believe that you are, or in reality than you are, right? So someone who is physically superior to Aaliyah is a bad match, because she will then probably feel like almost like they're doing her a favor, or she's lucky to be with him when it could possibly be the other way, and they could take advantage of that physical superiority and basically start talking like, hey, you ain't gonna find nobody else better than me. You know what I mean? Look at me, da da da. You have that type of interaction. So you definitely, if you're Leah, if you feel like the man that you're dealing with is like physically superior, and let's just say like he knows it, or he acts that way, that's probably not going to be a good match for you. Okay. And then who are the Leahs in 2023? The Leah today, man, hardworking, single mother, loyal to a fault, partner focused, man. Sometimes they say, like, not necessarily saying like they're physically flawed, but they believe they are. It could be because of weight, or it could be because of their children, or it could be because of the type of job they have. Um, the Leahs, this is a lot of our community right here, because if you look at how some of these women are treated, just go on social media and you'll be able to see, like, yeah, Leahs don't really, in my opinion, get the credit she's deserved, because I feel like when you even start talking about women in the Bible, to me, Leah is never really talked about, right? It was Jacob and Rachel, Isaac and Rebecca, Abraham and Sarah, right? That's the ones when it goes with the patriarchs. I don't think people say like Jacob and Leah. They always say Jacob and Rachel. I could be wrong. They might say something different in your church camp, whatever, but I don't really ever hear Leah really get mentioned. But you got to remember, she the one gave him the most kids, but she don't really get all that credit. So she's the one that gave him Judah, right? Which all the kings came through except for Saul, right? And Jesus, right? Leah, Leah is the matrilineal lineage for Jesus, but I don't think she gets the credit that she deserves. So, I'm gonna say salute to you, Leah, because I feel like you was putting up with a lot. All right, let's keep going. Delilah, man. So now we starting to get to a different type of woman now, man. Your Delilah, she's gonna be sensual, she's gonna be attractive, she's gonna be seductive, she's gonna be a good listener, and she's also gonna be intelligent, right? The problem with a Delilah is she's unloyal, she's manipulative, she's secretive, she's materialistic, and she's sneaky. Now, every man who watched this show has had a Delilah. And a Delilah sometimes can be the one that you want, but it's not the one that you need, right? That Delilah is going to be that extra attractive. She might not want and line up to everything that you might want to do, or that you might believe is a good thing. But that Delilah, you got to remember, man, She the one that took down Samson, man, because Samson was in there pillow talking, telling him his weakness, and because she manipulated him, he ended up telling the secret. And y'all know the story about Samson. But if you want to read about Delilah, you can find out about her in Judges 16. Let's keep going. Let's see who's a good match for Delilah, if you happen to be one, right? Because Delilahs exist, right? A good match is somebody who is powerful, right? Overconfident, somewhat naive, casual, meaning you don't necessarily want nothing serious, because it wasn't like Samson was trying to marry Delilah. And somebody who's got to be financially stable, because I don't know if Samson had no money, but she clearly betrayed him for her people, and I believe she was paid. I gotta go back and check that story, but yeah, Delilah. If this is the woman you got, you better match all of those qualities. This is your NBA wives sometimes, or the NBA women that like to go to the games and try to get the guys at the sports players, the ballers, the ones that want to date that top 1 to 2 to 3%. These are the Delilahs. They're going to use their physical appearance to make it seem like they should be able to garner more things in life, right? So these are the Delilahs. They could be manipulated. Don't mean just because you're attractive that makes you a Delilah. What I'm saying is, when you manipulate your looks, right, to, in quotation mark, gets the things you want, that could then slide you into this type of category. Let's keep going. So a bad match for a Delilah, right? Somebody that's blue collar, right? Regular dude, family oriented and traditional. You don't need a Delilah, because if you get one, you're gonna be in trouble, right? Because she's gonna always be wanting something bigger and better than what you are, and that's just not a good position or a good situation for any man to be in. Let's keep going. Um, Thought I had who is Delilah today, but I guess that slide messed up. But let's go to the last one, man. A Jezebel. And this is the worst one. Like, I didn't even have enough good things to say about Jezebel. These are just assumptions. But she's powerful, she's attractive, and she's seductive, right? The other problems with Jezebels are they're violent, they're deceitful, they're wicked, they're vengeful, and they are toxic, right? You got to remember, Jezebel killed some priests. Uh, Man, she turned Ahab. I think he was already against God, but they had him worshiping Baal. We're gonna get into some of that idol worship in tomorrow's show, but this is what was going on. So if you got a Jezebel, fellas, run. Like, I'm not going. If you got a Jezebel, this ain't who you want. Let's see. What is a good match for a Jezebel? Somebody who's also toxic and wicked, right? That's it. If you ain't toxic and wicked, you don't need to be messing with a Jezebel, right? A bad match. If you're righteous, religious, or traditional, you don't want a Jezebel. But sometimes like I said, you go back to that first page and she's powerful, she's attractive, she's seductive, and that's good enough for you. All right. And who would a Jezebel be today? Your politicians, your celebrities, your influencers, right? Someone always seeking power or people to manipulate, and they will do or say anything for attention. These are the people you got to be careful of. I'm not getting political, and I'm not saying that all politics. I'm saying the fact that they are seeking power, you have to be careful, because more than likely they're willing to say or do anything uh, for attention. All right. So next week, excuse me, the 5 prototypes of men are going to be broken down, and the men are going to be analyzed, and I'm going to ask the same questions in reverse. So I'm going to pick 5 men out of the Bible, and we're going to talk about these different types of characteristics. So maybe if you have identified that your man is one of these type of people, then you will be able to maybe be able to respond to him a little better, or avoid him altogether if it's not a good fit. And I believe that's it. So once again, the check for your understanding. So which woman do you mostly identify with? If you want to, after you watch the show, just drop it in the comment section. Which woman you mostly identify with. Um, Fellas, you can write which type of woman you seem to attract. If you want to put a little story in there, I can talk about that next week. Third question is, where are you meeting these type of people? So if you keep meeting a lot of Jezebels and you saying, man, I want a Leah, you want somebody else, you got to think about where you're going. Also, women, if you are a Deborah and you keep running into the bad matches for you, you got to ask yourself, well, what are you doing? What type of what type of dating app are you on? What type of dating app are you not on? What places are you going out and venturing in to try to do these things? And the last thing is, what changes are you willing to make? Because at the end of the day, everybody has to make some sort of change and adjust to varying things that could be going on. But like I said, man, that's pretty much the show for the night, man. If anybody had any questions, man, y'all could have dropped those in the chat. As you're watching the show, y'all just make sure y'all hit that like button. Y'all also make sure that y'all are sharing the show. Like I said, we got now we finally got over 200 subscribers. Like I said, right now I'm working on a debate. I got to go try to, I ain't trying to negotiate it, but I got to go work out the details of that. Once I work out the details of the debate, I'll let y'all know that so y'all can come support. You know, I'm not going to talk no junk before because I'm trying to go in respectful because it is a young lady that I'm going to be debating. So I can't really go in. If it was a guy, I really feel like going in, but I feel like that, I just feel wrong. Like really like, yeah, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to, it ain't that serious to me, man. I just want to just, you know, see what her information is about. See why she thinks the way she did, and maybe we can come to some sort of consensus. But you know, hey, some people are very opinionated, and this is also what I want to show you. Some people that I'm going to be bringing on the show, I want y'all to be able to experience and see what else is out there. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of stuff out there. Now, some of the stuff you might agree with, some of the stuff you might not agree with, but if you're never exposed to it, then I mean, some of it's nonsense, right? Like some of it's nonsense. And I'm trying not to bring this on the show, but I think it could be funny. But I'm probably not gonna bring him on the show because I feel like it's blasphemous. But I might bring that up one day. But like I said, if there's no questions, this isn't gonna necessarily be a live show where I'm gonna bring people in to talk yet. But we'll be doing that in the future too. So, like I said, tomorrow at 10 a.m., you know, we got the 40 days of 40 nights. I'm gonna be talking about idolatry in the Bible, right? Because excuse me, if you think about it, you got to keep asking yourself, why does it seem like every other king or every king, they keep worshiping idols? As soon as they got out of Egypt, they start worshiping idols. Like idolatry was huge in the Bible, and I think sometimes it's overlooked. Like people just say, oh, you know, like why did Aaron make a golden calf? There's a reason for that. It wasn't just a random animal that they just decided to worship. Like it was already established. So we got to talk about idolatry. We're going to talk about idolatry in the biblical sense, but we're also going to talk into the modern sense, basically meaning anything that you put before God can be a form of idolatry. Because some people will say, you know, like alcohol, you can't worship a bottle. Yeah, you can. You might not bow down and pray to, hey, you know, Hennessy, please, you know, I need a raise on my job, bottle of Hennessy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're drinking is so prevalent that you can't handle yourself, you won't pay your bills, you know, you are what people call a drunk. And there are other substances that I'm gonna get into tomorrow that could be forms of idolatry. Some of these people that y'all like and support, right? If you support that person or you're talking about that person more than you're talking about God and things like that, that could be a form of idolatry. The key word being why they call these people idols, right? Not like, you know, American idols, like it's right there in the term. So when these people follow them, and there are certain groups of people who follow entertainers and they have their own nicknames for the groups that follow them, you could be close to idolatry. So I would just tell you just to be careful. But yeah, man, I'm about to go watch Missouri versus Ohio State. Should I do a pick? I would say I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is not playing, so I would say I think Missouri's going to win because I feel like they're more motivated to play, and Ohio State's going to be missing a lot of people. So that is all I got for you. You know, man, until next time, let me let my dog Joel say something to you.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God.
Yeah, I gotta make sure my videos are not on repeat. But until next time, man. Well, until tomorrow, I'll see y'all, man. Y'all be blessed, man. Shabbat shalom.